But anyway, this is Tai Chi Salon, and I am here with my friend and my colleague, Richard Mullen, my WCC Chen colleague, who also happens to be a pretty damn good trumpet player.
Ah,
However, today, however, today we're going to be talking about uh, the practice and the teaching of Tai Chi. So, uh, let's go with the set questions, and then maybe I'll throw in a couple of extra things at the end there.
sounds great.
Um, so,
Thank you for
tell us,
doing this, by the way, Lincoln.
oh, my pleasure, and thank you, sir, for doing it. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing these days.
Absolutely. Well, I live in Maplewood, New Jersey with my family, and have been spending a lot of time, like everybody, valuing family time and making the most of our moment in history. And in addition to that, I feel like there's been this practice of striking a balance in life, right? So we all feel the weight and the pressures of our current environment, and for me, some of striking that balance, in addition to spending the extra quality time with my family, which is super special, is taking a little bit of time and creating a little bit of space to be with myself. And for me, that looks like training, it looks like conditioning, it looks like really digging into some of these core principles and practices of Tai Chi, which, I think you may feel the same way, but definitely brings both mental and physical benefits. And so it's been taking time to explore different levels, different aspects, different approaches to the Tai Chi practice.
Right. So, just talk a little bit about your teaching and talk about South Mountain. Give us a little bit of information about that.
Yeah, sure. So I started South Mountain Tai Chi about 6 years ago, and located right here in Maplewood, New Jersey. And I started similar to what you were saying, Lincoln. The motivation being to teach, to spread the word, to the more players out there that we can practice with together, regardless of their level. Um,
Absolutely.
just makes it so much better. And I think that one of those key motivations early on was, how can we spread the word, get more engagement, get more people interested in practicing Tai Chi? Because what we know is how deeply it benefits us in so many ways. And why shouldn't other people feel the same benefit, right? So that was the start of South Mountain Tai Chi. Um, we have a local ethical culture society, which happens to be right across the street from me, and they have open space. So I was holding practices there. Um, there's free, open, community-based Tai Chi program, all levels, all experiences, all cultures, and everybody are welcome. In the summer months, we take it out into the park and enjoy the fresh air. And over time, it's
I
grown.
actually enjoyed those summer sessions that I'd sign on to in the morning on Facebook. You were out in the park, and uh, it was just so great to see that.
Thank
With
you.
the social distancing, obviously, and
Well, that's been a new extension, right? In the last year, is taking it all online like everybody else. It's like the motivation is still there to spread the word, but the way that we've been able to do it is taking it online. And it's so interesting because um, from the beginning of South Mountain Tai Chi was two ladies who came to the Ethical Culture Society and hung out with me and learned with me and really enjoyed it. And over time, it's grown to about 20, 25 regulars that are diehards and have learned. And what's interesting is in the last year with COVID and moving everything online, uh, that reach has even expanded to family, friends, and friends of friends across the globe, right? So, um, in a way, there's been just an amazing opportunity involved in trying to have to think a little bit differently.
Yeah, that actually ties into one of the questions I was going to ask you, which you partially answered already, which was, talking about how your teaching methods have changed or
Yeah.
evolved to adapt to technology and to COVID, uh, and et cetera. Maybe you can share some insights as to what you had to change, or what got better, or what got more challenging, or
Right. Yeah, all of it. All of it. I have to say, there's no doubt that person to person, face to face, where you can put your hands on and really observe how people are moving and what they're thinking, even though they're not saying it.
yes.
Those types of interactions you can't beat being in person. Um, haven't cracked that nut yet, although we're going to keep trying. Um, that said, um, you know, there was there's a rapid learning curve, like all of us. How do you set up a YouTube studio? How do you set up a studio like environment where you can like record these effective teaching tools, right? So there was a quick ramp up of that for me and learning curve. Um, Once it was up and running and I committed to it, I just set out to record short burst videos, as many as I could. And I blocked out some time to do it. And um, in a relatively short period, I built up a pretty large YouTube library. And um, what I did was is I created different playlists. So I teach a lot with seniors in our community.
Yeah.
So I created a playlist and a series of videos that focused on seniors and what would be most effective to them. I created a separate playlist for um, people that just wanted to kind of dip their toe into Tai Chi and explore Tai Chi and get to know it a little bit. Um, and The other playlist, and I'm still working on this. This is a big motivation for me, is kids programs, right? So I feel like the Tai Chi is very accessible to seniors and older population, and people, let's say above 40 years old, are more willing to spend the time and devote a little bit of attention to it, right, and explore it. But younger generations, there's a big gap there, and it's really hard to do that level of engagement. So the third playlist was to create some kids focused Tai Chi activities,
Mm.
and I think that's going forward. That's going to be a real big priority for me, is um, how I can structure a program to really reach and engage kids that they're going to want to do.
Awesome. So what is it?
Yeah.
So what is the title of the platform that listeners who are listening to this can access um, to access to these platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's South Mountain Tai Chi um, is my studio, and we have southmountaintaichi.com on the web, and the YouTube studio is tagged to South Mountain Tai Chi as well.
Okay.
So if any Google search to South Mountain Tai Chi will pull up either a Facebook, a website, or a YouTube link.
Yeah, I've actually checked some of it out, and it seems to be connected to uh, the Facebook, YouTube platforms sort of interconnect very easily. So I just go,
Yeah.
I click you on Sunday mornings and got you here. Well, maybe I'm multitasking, or maybe I'm trying to move with you. I was, so this maybe would be, this sort of ties into the other thing I was going to ask you, which is, uh, you also have a pretty good mastery of Qigong, uh,
Mm,
and maybe you could talk about that. I know
yeah.
what was the title of that? Shiba,
Shibashi.
Shibashi?
Shibashi.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, Loosely translated to Tai Chi Qigong.
Yeah.
Um, so you may know Luis Molero.
Yes.
You
Yes.
remember Master Morero?
I remember him from
And
Spain.
apologies if I'm not pronouncing his name.
Molera.
Morero.
He's passed on, I think.
He did. He passed away 6 years
Has it been that
ago.
long already? Wow.
It feels like a while. Um, I learned Shibashi from him
Awesome.
at Master Chen's studio. Yeah,
Awesome.
a really amazing experience and moment. He was such a sweet soul and a tremendous Tai Chi player, a master. And you remember he would come periodically from Spain and set up shop and teach out
That's
of
right. And he
Master
was
Chen's studio.
right with the fan form. Was that was his? He was the one who was teaching the fan form
Yeah,
to Alex
and
and some
Frank.
of our other colleagues.
That's right. Yeah, Frank learned the.
Frank learned it. Yeah,
Frank
Master
was a
Frank.
big friend and um, a colleague of Lewis, and uh, I was fortunate enough because I was trying to get my wife to come and join the practice and learn with me.
Okay.
Um, and so we came into the city for 2 days, or 2 or 3 days, I can't remember, and studied with Luis to learn the Qigong form. So that was brought to us from him, and it's a wonderful form. What's nice about it is that um, a lot of the struggle people have with that barrier to entry to practicing Tai Chi is learning the choreography, learning the poses and the sequences. Um, the Shibashi form is nice because it isolates very specific forms pulled out of the Young style form
So
and
that's the
repeats
cycling.
them.
That's the cycling thing when you cycle Sparrow's Tail in some of your
Yes,
classes. That comes from that form because that's awesome
absolutely.
how those
Yeah,
they interconnect together. So that this would be another question I would have for you.
yeah.
How would you define the difference between Tai Chi and Qigong? I mean, I know they're related. There's a Venn diagram that intersects, but what's the difference fundamentally between the way you practice and teach those in your view?
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my loose translation of that is um, traditional Tai Chi practice has a heavy leaning or focus towards the martial arts aspects,
Yes.
right? Methodology. Whereas Qigong, historically, it's an older art than the Tai Chi practice, but its focus and methodology is more specific to health and well-being, right?
Okay.
So fundamentally, those are the key differences. And you can see that in how it plays out as you practice Tai Chi and move through the forms. You can think through the application of each one of those forms in a
Yeah.
martial aspect,
To
right?
help you put
Um,
intent to the moves.
totally, right? And so, but as we're practicing Qigong, it's really deep diving into the internal aspects and the flow and the energy and the circulation, and the rooting skills. And what's nice about practicing the two and why I constantly am flowing back and forth when I teach is because the movements relate, right? The core principles relate, but what Qigong offers the beginners is the opportunity to um, repeat. It's the repetitive flow of a
Yes.
single movement. I can allow my muscles to um, and my coordination to settle in and figure out what it's supposed to feel like. And um, I, I, I find there's a true benefit to that. So, and the Shibashi in particular, because we're simply just cherry picking all those key little forms and figures out of the Young form and isolating them and repeating them over and over again. So it's nice.
So my understanding of the history, not that I've, you know, we've all studied a little bit of the history and
Yeah.
tried to connect together the development of this constantly evolving art of Tai Chi. And from my understanding, the original 13 postures were static postures.
Oh, interesting.
So I
Interesting.
think that there's sort of, you know, you say that Qigong came before Tai Chi. Maybe it was a trunk of a tree that rooted out like this. I don't know. You know, I've had discussions with Master Chen
Yes.
and with Alex and you know several other of you know Master Chen's senior students about that. But it's always interesting to to pick the brains of my colleagues to see what they think about that. Um,
I would love to, and not to sidebar your interview here, but it would be wonderful to have um, like a roundtable discussion where
it
we could
would, and
have
it
that
would be
conversation
easily
together.
done too if I can
Yeah,
figure out how to get this the Zoom to record in gallery. I'm still figuring out things on Zoom, so I don't know how this is going to get posted. It's probably going to be when I'm talking, they're going to see me, and when you're talking, they're going to see you. But that's cool. The last interview I did with Alex uh, was like that, but it was fine, and we got, and of course, you know, Alex, we got really deep into it. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
we went for an hour,
he's amazing.
and he just went, you know, off into the cosmos. He's so awesome.
I
Um,
love that. There's always something to learn. So much to learn.
So here's a big general question. See if you can answer this for me. What do you feel are the most important things you've learned from your study of the internal arts?
Yeah, that's a deep question. And I would have to so the most important things are many, and one of the reasons I got into the practice of Tai Chi initially was wanting to find um, an activity that allowed me to be physical, right? Allowed me to learn aspects of self-defense, to condition my body,
Mhm.
um, and do all of those competitive and athletic type activities while being something I could dedicate myself to for the long term, right? Something that, how can I do that now aggressively that I can build on and keep doing for the rest of my life, right? So I think Tai Chi um, it is that opportunity and is that art. So um, I've learned that I can keep practicing um, Tai Chi for the long term, and I've realized that I receive both mental and physical benefits from the practice, um, which are tremendous. I feel like my overall strength and balance and conditioning has increased tremendously, and I feel like in some ways it's also helped my ability to communicate with others. This whole aspect of really practicing, quote unquote, listening skills through, movement and touch and observation and awareness is incredibly huge. Very
That's
much part of the Tai Chi practice, right? But it
that's
has,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
it's awesome. That's one of the things. You know, if I could just interject, that's one of
yes,
this sort of peripheral benefits that you don't are not really conscious of. I remember one of the things that Master Chen said to me when I was first started coming into him was, whatever you do, Tai Chi is going to make it better. And you can see that the people from all different walks of life. I mean, it's really interesting the way that it benefits me in terms of my concentration, in terms as a professional musician, and as a teacher, not only of Tai Chi but also of music, and also things that I would never think would be I would benefit from the practice of the form, which is I become a better chess player.
oh, nice, nice.
And I was figuring out how come I can relax and see these moves that I was yeah exactly see behind you with your ears.
There it is. There it is. See behind your ears.
See behind your ears. Yeah, and anyway, just I want to make sure that all my little points here that I got written out for you to ask you I get covered. Um, so one of the things I do in these interviews is I give a one word definition to you to explain to me in one or two sentences.
Okay,
All right. Do you think you can do that for me? I'm gonna throw some stuff out at you right now.
go for it. Go for it.
So here's one. Energy.
Energy is the transfer of power from your root up through your core and in an outward direction.
Awesome. Uh, Chi.
Ah, so um, this is one of those conversations I've started to have with Master Chen, right? Um,
Yeah.
so my current understanding and explanation of Qi and this, combining Qi energy and Qi energy flow, right? Um, is we can learn. Sorry, you asked for a two sentence answer.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Alice gave me a 20-minute explanation of one of my.
Okay.
That's the way
Well,
it goes.
it won't be that
Let's,
long.
let's go. Let's go.
Okay. So here's my explanation as of now is um, connecting the brain, the mind with the action. That's actually my succinct answer to that, right? We can move and we can flow, right? And we can deliver lots of power and energy by reaching out and pushing and pulling, right? But when we connect the brain, i.e., create intent with what we're doing, that's Qi, making that connection between the brain and the physical action, right?
Okay.
Master Chen, when he says, pour the tea to your great grandmother because you
Right.
love her so much. I love
Right.
you. And this stuff. That's right.
So you could also say that chi is feeling. You've put the feeling in or intent
Yeah,
into into the delivery of an action.
no doubt. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a good. So okay. So just a couple more. A couple
Yeah.
more.
I love it.
Ego.
Ego. Oh, ego's the killer, right? Ego gets in the way. Um, ego is something, it's a big motivation for the practice of Tai Chi is how to overcome your ego, right? Um, if our ego gets in the way, that's when we fail.
Yeah. I've failed. You've seen me fail.
So we all do it. It's in there, buddy.
Um. So okay. So here's sort of like two words put together. Two definitions put together. Toes and fingers. Push pull.
Yeah, toes and fingers, push pull. So the concept, and I'm totally channeling Master Chen because he is the master. Um, Going back to the string of pearls, I mean, it's so interesting. You go back to the true traditional foundations of the practice and the teachings, right? So the string of pearls, um, you pull the one pearl out, everything falls to the ground. So this concept of Tai Chi movement is linking your body into one connected unit that moves seamlessly and flows seamlessly as one connected unit. So the way that we're able to achieve that and the way that Master Chen teaches us to achieve that is by focusing on our root and our connection to the earth, right? Which is the scooping the sand with the toes, right? And
Or
the
rip the
finger,
paper like you use sometimes in your classes, which I think is awesome. I stole that one.
cool, man. I did great. I don't know how I stumbled. I can't believe anyway,
It's a
use it.
perfect description of
It
scooping and
works.
eating.
All right, good.
Yeah, one of the best ones I've heard, by the way.
So you have the toes, right? And then the fingers are where the energy and the action is being delivered, right? Everything in between the toes and the fingers is just a link of the chain, right? Moving seamlessly.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, one more, and then we're going to get back to bigger questions.
Yeah,
I'm going to put these two together: fear, death.
fear and death. Um, I think fear fear is a roadblock and something that we can overcome. I think that by living by challenging ourselves through life, by exploring new activities, new and different activities in our life. I feel that's how we can overcome fear, by learning that we can survive, much like we all have over the course of this last year, or many of us have.
Yeah.
So fear, I guess I feel like the good news is that fear is something that we can learn to overcome. Um, and death is inevitable. So live, 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 live.
Great answer, Richie. Great, great. Um, so I don't want to go too long with this.
Yeah,
Awesome answers, awesome insights. Thank you so much. Um,
absolutely.
any words of advice or encouragement for the practitioner who's just starting out with Tai Chi, Qigong?
Yeah, a few. Um, be patient. Um, enjoy the journey, and go into it um, knowing that it is a journey. The beauty is that it's a journey that is sometimes challenging, sometimes easy, um, but it always gives something back to you. No matter how long you practice, this is my experience, and I'm sure it's yours too, Lincoln. Like, it's constantly opening your eyes, and giving something back to you. So keep going and don't stop.
Awesome, awesome answers. So, Rich, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this. And probably we're going to do another one. And your suggestion about the panel or the forum is a very good idea. If I could manage a way to to coordinate it and get everybody to um, you know, strangely enough, not be nervous about being in a forum where it's
Right.
going to be published out to a larger audience. But I think this is really uh, I thank you for participating me in this very important work of getting the word out, for lack of a better term. Uh,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the invitation, and it's an absolute pleasure. Thank
yes,
you. Thank you.
yeah, and just keep on doing what you're doing.
I'm gonna keep going, buddy. I'm gonna keep going, and I'm dedicated to bringing Tai Chi push hands clubs to children, um, starting in my local community, but to the West, right? So I really want to bring competitive, fun Tai Chi push hands to kids here in the West. And I think that that is going to be an amazing,
That's
amazing
an
program.
awesome idea. That's an awesome idea. Well, this is going to get the word out.
Thank you.
So this is Tai Chi Salon, and I'm here with my good friend Richard Mullen, and signing off for now. Um, Richie, you'll see this posted probably a little bit later on today when I have a chance. I got to do some teaching, but uh,
Right. Well, thank you.
yes,
I hope we get a chance to play music together
that would be
again.
nice. Maybe at a Lunar New Year dinner again.
That would be awesome. Look
Okay.
forward to it. And I look forward to playing and practicing together soon.
All right. You and your family be safe.
You too. Be well.
Okay. Take
Talk to you
care.
soon.